What is going on, everybody? This is Dave and welcome back to a brand new season here in Wolves AWE, my Football Manager 2018 series with Wolverhampton Wanderers. After a fantastic season last term and just missing out on what we thought would have been European football, we now move on to Season 3. And as always, we've got plenty of things to go through. Lots of new players and obviously the start of the new season whilst looking back at what happened over the pre-season. Let's get straight into it, starting off with some of the new boys that have come in. So we may as well start off with the man that we spent the most on this summer, strangely enough, was Matt Ritchie. Now, this one may sound a little bit strange to some of you guys, but looking at his stats, he's not a bad player. You know how we play with the wide players. He's not necessarily quick, but technically he's fantastic. He's got a good cross, good free kick taking as well. Good penalty taker, set pieces, and mentally he's really decent as well. I think he's going to be a decent addition to us here. Got some nice player traits as well there. 15 long shots. I'd expect to see him score a few goals for us this season. He's on 60 grand a week. We did bring him in for 10.75 million, but we do need some homegrown. We need some British players, obviously with the Brexit rules changing, and obviously Newcastle going down. We were able to buy him for 10.75 million. I don't think it's a bad signing. The second player we spent a little bit on was this guy, Paulinho, and my gosh, does he look decent. 19 years of age, and those stats are only going to get better and better. Already a 3-star rating in our squad, really, and he looks fantastic. 15 under-20 caps for Brazil, 7 goals in there as well, and already some of his stats look very decent. I think he's going to grow into a very nice player. Ambitious personality, which is always nice to see. 8.75 million we brought him in from the Brazilian side here. I don't know who they are. VDG. I've got all the abbreviations. I don't know who it is, but very happy with that signing, and I think he's going to be an absolute tank for us this season. A player that came in on a free that was very happy to welcome was Luke Shaw. Still very young in terms of a player, really, 24 years of age, in on a free from Manchester United. A little bit steep on the wage wise, but I think when we've brought him in on a free, we can't complain too much. Physically, he's still very good, Luke Shaw. Now, obviously, we know in real life terms he does get injured quite a lot, and he didn't play much for Manchester United at all over the last couple of years, but he didn't really have any major injuries here from when the game started. It was just these 3 here, 5 days, 2 days, so nothing much to worry about, to be honest. I think he's going to turn out to be a fantastic player for us. I'm really looking forward to see what he can do. Another Englishman we brought in on a free was Gary Cahill, 33 years of age now. He is getting on a little bit, and his pace and acceleration is going down a bit. But other than that, we need a little bit of leadership in this team, a little bit of experience, and Cahill's the man to do that. 19 leadership, 18 teamwork, 17 work rate, 19 bravery. The heading stat of 17, marking and tackling as well is up there. I think he's going to be a fantastic player, even in the latter stages of his career. Rotation option, 62 grand a week. I don't think we can complain much about that. He only played 5 games for Chelsea last term, but the last 2 years he's still got a very solid average rating, and he's a very good player that we've brought in. Looking at some of the other players though, a new right back, Kleber though, a Brazilian right back. Now I'll go through this shortly, but throughout most of the summer I was chasing a young English lad, a regen, 16 years of age, who we'll look at later. But I really like the look of Kleber, to be honest. He did set us back 8.5 million in the end. But if we look at him, some of his stats, you know, he can play wing back as well as obviously the normal attack, the normal fullback rather. But acceleration wise, pace, again, he's only 21 years of age, fairly determined. Determination of 15 will help him grow as a player as well. And I think he'll be very solid. Similar to Paulinho, I think he'll become a very solid player. A player who came and joined quite quickly. Unfortunately, he won't be in action today because he torn his hamstring in pre-season. His name's Orbelin Pineda. We brought him in from Chivas, but he is very solid again. He likes to play as Mazzala or a deep line playmaker role. Mentally, he's very solid. Again, another player with nice determination, which will help him grow. 23 years of age, Nice passing start, good technique. Can play sort of all through the middle, really, which I think is good. And it's quite good physically as well. I think he'll be a very, very strong player, especially if we can play him next to Ruben Neves. A player that we brought in as well is Ezequiel Barco. We're hoping to get him some first team action. Obviously, we can see his stats going down a little bit, so we'll get him tutored shortly. But I like the look of him. He did very well in pre-season, which we'll have a look at again shortly. Technically, he's good. He's a very skillful player. I think he'll do well for us. Can play through the middle or either wing. And I think for the fee that we brought him in, it's a very, very decent price. A goalkeeper this time, as John Ruddy departed, which we'll go through shortly. We brought in Anton Mitriushkin. I hope I've pronounced that right. We'll just call him Anton for the time being. But I think he's a very, very solid backup goalkeeper. 23 years of age, Russian. We brought him in from Sion in Switzerland, I believe. But look at that, 17 kicking, so he's a pretty good goalkeeper with his feet, really. And I mean, all the rest of his stats, I think he's a very, very solid backup at just 23 years of age as well. We brought him in for just 4.5 million. And I'm looking forward to seeing him in some action. Another defensive-minded player, again, sort of similar to Pineda, Dragos Nedelcu, the Romanian. We brought him in from Steaua Bucharest. I think he's very solid. Look at all his mentals. None lower than 11 there, all green. Same with his physicals, none lower than 12. I think he'll get a good run in the team. Again, only 22 as well. Some of these players that we're bringing in for small fees, still very, very young players, are going to grow into some absolute beasts. This guy we brought in for just £3 million was had two very solid seasons for Steaua Bucharest over in the top division in Romania. Sort of the only other big signing was Maxi Romero on loan. Now, he's the only player we brought in on loan this season. You know, we brought quite a number of players on loan last year, but he's the final piece to this team, really, and I'm very, very happy with how it's gone. Obviously, we'll look at some of the outs in a minute, but he's a player that we looked at last year as well. We couldn't get it, but we've got him this year. I think as a backup, he'll do well, and he's very, very strong. Got good potential ability as well. If he hits the ground running, we'll make sure we sign him on a permanent deal. But if we look now at the rest of the players that we've brought in quickly, only a couple more. Serge Bamba, we brought in on a contract, 300 odd K. We can't get a work permit for him at the moment, but I think he'll turn into a very, very good player. And the other player was this guy, Matteo Gabbia, on a free transfer, may I add. He may be going out on loan. I really wanted to get him in the squad this year. He's a defensive centre-back, and I think it'll fit into the tactic when I show you shortly what we're going to be trying to play this season. Again, 19 years of age. We brought in some absolutely brilliant talent this season. I'm very, very happy with that. Now, with the outs, no massive outs as such, but we sold Eduardo Goldeniga. I wanted to get rid of him. I didn't think he was going to play much, and I knew he was worth a few million, especially with some of the players that we were bringing in. I was aware of some of the foreign player rule and so on. So he's gone over to Crystal Palace. We sold him for 3.2 million. Matt Doherty has left as well. I don't think he was going to get a good run in the team. Ben Watson has finally gone. Iorfa left. Barry Douglas, Ryan Bennett, Lee Evans. Ayoze Perez has gone out on loan. Only because, again, I don't think he was going to get a massive run in the team. We tried to sell him, but we couldn't quite sell him. And then quite a few players out on loan as well. Andre Green goes out on loan, although I feel he may well have had a chance in the first team this year. Players that went out on freeze, I don't think it comes up anymore, does it? Players that got released. Does it say release players here? So, as you can see, we got rid of a lot of players that really aren't going to have much. So John Ruddy, Nua Dicko, Duckins, Naz on all left, Kolakimi, some big players ended up leaving us as well. But I'm pretty happy with how things happened, what sort of players that we've brought in. I think it's been a very, very solid transfer window for us. So schedule-wise and in the preseason, as you can see, we had a very solid preseason, playing a mix of teams really. Started off with a friendly called, against a team called Rockwoodine, beat them 10-0. Barco grabbing a hat-trick. Paulinho, Trinsal scoring twice, and Andre Green scoring twice. We then played Notts County, again 4-0 win this time, which I'm very happy with. Paulinho with another 2, Trinsal with another 2 as well. We played Dudley Sports, which was probably my more disappointing friendly because we weren't brilliant in this game and actually allowed Dudley Sports to score against us. But again, Paulinho, Matt Ritchie, Andre Green with 2 and Maxi Romero with 2. We then beat Porto very convincingly, 5-1. Paulinho, Ritchie, Maxi Romero with 2 and Andre Green scoring. Estoril we beat 4-0, Paulinho again, Barco again. Simply Zakuani came in for a few games, he scored along with Morgan Gibbs-White as well. We then beat Benfica 3-0 as well. Ruben Neves with a beautiful strike. Barco and Paulinho. We then beat Santana, who are another Portuguese team. We beat them 4-0. Quickly, Zakuani scored 4. Morgan Gibbs-White scored 2. Matt Ritchie, Neves, Fabro, Cahill, Fellaini, Trinsal with the other goals. And Maxi Romero scoring twice as well. We beat PSG 2-1. A team that contained Neymar, Lucas Moura and so on. Leonardo da Silva Lopez and Paulinho scoring. And then in our most recent and last friendly, we beat Zaragoza 4-2. Dragos, Nedelcu, Cavallero, Paulinho and Matt Ritchie with the goals. But as you can see today, we're going to be kicking off the season against Brentford. They've just come up from the Premier League. We're going to be, we've obviously got Nottingham Forest as well in the Carabao Cup second round. But we're going to be playing Brentford up again today. Now, the tactic that we're looking at is this one here. We're going back to sort of the tactic that we used in the first season, but this one was helped by a friend of the channel, someone that watches the channel, Moldy, who said, try this one out. It's got all three front players as trequartistas and Mazzala in the middle with a deep line playmaker. Neves is perfect for that role, and that will help us push Neves a little bit higher. Because Neves is really deep last season, we want him to get involved in some more goals and so on. But the team is very, very solid. I'm looking forward to it. Dynamics-wise, good, very good for the support of me. Jota is still a little bit, but hopefully he'll get better throughout the season. The dynamics are looking good now. I'm very happy with how those dynamics are looking, and the social groups are okay at the moment. Obviously, hopefully integrate some of these others into the other teams very soon and other groups. But I think it's been very, very solid, and we can now jump into what is going to be hopefully a very successful season. Now, I know I was getting worried about 8th place and Bournemouth finish there, but it looks like they didn't get European football anyway. So I was getting quite excited about 8th place last episode, but it didn't happen anyway, so nothing to worry about. But I really want to try and push forward this year. Competition wise, the board want us to finish top half, which I'd hope is doable. 5th round of the FA Cup, 4th round of the Carabao Cup. I really hope we can go on some sort of cup run this season. Staff wise, we've still got some space for more scouts and recruitment team members, but I'll quickly show you if there's any transfers regarding the staff, the history wise now. If I quickly go into here, there was quite a few that left. I let go. So Darius Vassell, Morrison, Kevin Felwell left as director of football. Jonathan Fenner, Mark Campbell, Daniel Simpson, Russell West, and Alexandra Chulwe. We brought in Liam Branley from Newcastle as an under-18s coach, a new data analyst, Eddie Rooney, and a new director of football is Jorge Rodriguez de Cosa. He does look pretty good. Ex-Marbella director of football. Now, the last player as well that we were really interested in and didn't get. Now, he plays for Newcastle. He's a right back, and he currently at 16 years of age represents England under 21s. I'd assume he's going to be on their hot prospect. No, he's not. That's someone else. So let me see if he's in their team. I don't think he's in their first team there. So let me check his under 23s. No, he's in there under 18 still. This guy, Steve Lightstone, I think for a 16-year-old, he looks ridiculously good. 19 determination as well. We tried to get him, had a £5 million bid accepted. He didn't want to talk to me. Got my director of football to do it, who actually got to offer him a contract, but he still rejected it. So he wants to continue at Newcastle, fair play, but he would have been a nice signing. But then obviously we brought in our Brazilian right back instead. But enough of me rambling on now. Let's go and jump into the first game of Season 3 up against Brentford. So here's the team for today's game. We're going to start off with that formation. The front three of Barco, Paulinho and Ritchie. Jota is dropped altogether. Still unhappy. Still not 100% fit, so we'll leave him out. Leonardo da Silva Lopez will partner Neves through the middle with Shaw and Palencia at the wing-back positions. Cahill, House and Vavro at the back for today. In front of Mitriushkin, as Rajkovic is slightly injured, so he'll start on the bench. Marine, Nedelcu, Gibbs White, Trincao, Ivan Cavallero and Maxi Romero on the bench. Brentford start with 4-2-3-1. Pojanpalo, I think that is up front. Stanislas with Judge and Boyaki. In behind with Woods, Mokotjo, Taylor, Bieland, Velkov, Rafinha from Bayern and Bentley in goal. We're hoping we can get a win in this game because obviously the first game of the season we want to get off to a high. We'll tell them it's all over to them. Have a good one, and then assertively again, let's see what they can do. This is going to be very interesting. I'm really hoping we can get off to a winning start here. And here we are then at the Molineux for today's game. We're hoping to kick off with 3 points, of course, and it's a very solid pre-season for us. So Paulinho was on fire in pre-season. Barker was fairly good as well, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how what's his name? Paulinho, yeah, how he'll do in pre-season. Neves tries the ball forward, and now Brentford will come forward, looking to see if they can cause some trouble. And Stanislas may well be in here. And Brentford with the first key attack of the game, headed away only as far as Woods, who fires over the bar. And Brentford looking decent going forward there. Goal kick here, Bentley. It's not the best ball forward, and Ritchie tries to have a pop from about 30, well, probably more than that, about 40, 45 yards. And it does go well wide, to be fair, but a bit of pressure was put on by Brentford there. But an early mistake from Bentley in goals. Corner here, Ritchie now with the ball in. Back out to Barco. We'll find Leonardo da Silva Lopez. His shot was there, and Vavro Tries to put pressure on the Brentford goalkeeper, but early signs that we're looking dangerous at the moment. Cutting inside and out. That's nice from him. Paulinho now on the ball. So you're going to shoot. He does try to place a shot, and Bentley saves again. 2 on target for us so far, and it has been a solid start for us. House switches it over to Richie. Bit of a room for Palencia on the right hand side, but Neves now will switch it to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw on the ball. We'll try and find a searching ball in. Half cleared only as far as De Silva Lopez, who had a bit of a run up there, but didn't hit it quite as cleanly as he would have wanted to. But it's a good start for us here in the first half of the new season. Barco into De Silva Lopez again. We'll find Ruben Neves. Back out to Vavro. Back out to Neves. And all the way back to Palencia. Here's Barco with the ball in. Headed away again, only as far as De Silva Lopez, who's going to go and have a shot, and Bentley stings his fingertips and goes out for another throw-in. We've had 8 shots so far in the first 27 minutes. It's Matt Ritchie again, drills it back in. And I thought there might have been a penalty there, but it wasn't given. Just under half an hour gone. We're still looking very, very comfortable. Ball forward here, which Luke Shaw can win the header. Here's Barco on the ball now. Into Ruben Neves. Neves on the ball. Find Richie, who's got a bit of a knock and shoots wide. We'll quickly see what that knock is about. It's a knee injury, so we're not going to risk it. We'll bring him off. I'm actually going to bring Trincao on, who probably had a better pre-season than Cavallero, only because Cavallero was injured. So he's only really he didn't even have 2 full games, to be honest. So we'll bring Trincao on, and he was pretty good. And I really want this to be his breakthrough season. He was okay in the Championship last term, and he scored quite a few goals. So we'll see how this goes for him. Here's Palencia now. Bursting forward here, Palencia. We'll find Trincao. Skips past 1 and 2. Finds Palencia. Low ball into Paulinho. Shot right at the goalkeeper. Best chance of the game so far for us. And another good save from Bentley, who's keeping Brentford in the game at the moment. Can we grab a goal right on half-time? Here's Neves again. To Trincao. Into Palencia. 10 shots in the first half to Brentford's 2. None of theirs on target. Half of our 10 have been on target. Leonardo Da Silva Lopez again. We'll run and find Neves. We'll switch it back across to Shaw. Barco's there in space. And Barco to try and get the opening goal of the season. Again, saved by Bentley at the near post. Still, we're knocking on the door. Bielan heads away. And Brentford looking to hold on right up until half-time here. They're doing very, very well defensively. Bentley, at the moment, the man of the match with his saves, keeping Brentford in the game. Paulinho switches it. Palencia didn't win the header, but back out to House. To Ruben Neves. De Silva Lopez ran away from it, but won it back and found Shaw. Neves again now on the ball. Ruben Neves is going to have a hit. It wasn't a million miles away, and we're still knocking on the door as it comes up to half-time, and still looking very, very comfortable. So it's Wolves 0, Brentford 0, but convincing so far. We just got to try and break the deadlock. So here we are, the start of the second half, and it was a very strong first half from us, very promising, but we just can't quite break the deadlock at the moment. We've already made, obviously, 1 change with Matt Ritchie coming off. But we've got some good options on the bench. Morgan Gibbs-White may well be his breakthrough season. Had a couple of decent loan spells. But it's a ball in and headed away. Now Ruben Neves will keep it in. Can he whip this one back in? He can indeed, but straight into the arms of Bentley. As it stands, Hull, top of the league. Winning their opening game alongside Liverpool, Borough, and Stoke and Spurs. But Brentford at the moment still holding on for what would be a solid point for them early on in this season. And Pojanpoli, or whatever his name is, ran onto that, and Gary Cahill now can bring this down and into Barco on the left hand side. Finds Leonardo Da Silva Lopez into Barco, threads it through to Luke Shaw. Oh, it's a great ball for Trincao, who scores, and Trincao with the opening goal of the season. I said to you, this will be his breakthrough season, and it's actually his first ever Wolves goal in league, because I'm pretty sure he did score in the FA Cup in his first season for us against West Ham. But Luke Shaw finds the ball in, and he tucks it past the goalkeeper. Beautiful play from Luke Shaw to tuck into the middle there. And it's a wonderful ball to get an assist on his debut. And Trincao with an opening goal of the season for us on his return to the first team. Here's Courtney House. Made all 3 subs now. Neves and Da Silva Lopez both coming off. So the best ball. And Mape back to Morgan. Morgan now with the ball to Taylor. Brentford knocking on the door now. Taylor, can they grab one? Mape! And it's straight at our goalkeeper there. We're pushing a little bit too high there, so we're just going to drop our wing backs to support rather than attack now, just to see them sit back a little bit more. Now Brentford are going to start knocking on the door. Are they late on? Stanislas again blocked, and now Luke Shaw can bring it forward, and he'll try to find Paulinho. It's boosted back up there, and Cahill will knock it back to our goalkeeper. And And it will be rolled out here, will it? Oh no, yeah. Kicked out to Vavro. We'll find Nedelcu. He's come on for Ruben Neves today. Trincao now into Nedelcu again. To Palencia. Getting the nod ahead of our new right back from Brazil. Nedelcu again. Switches it over. Paulinho. Great knock off of Morgan Gibbs-White. Couldn't quite get there. Will Luke Shaw have another chance to whip it in? He does. Trincao back in it. Paulinho with another chance. Great football again. Morgan Gibbs-White with a dangerous run forward. With 10 minutes to go now. Ball in from Barco. Headed away back out to the Argentine. Ezequiel Barco will find Paulinho. Back into Nedelcu. Whose shot is out for a corner. As it stands, we're still winning. There's no draws in the few games that have been played. Knocked on by Cahill, and Paulinho with a poor first touch. Should have tapped that one in. On another day, this could have been 3 or 4, but still only 1-0, and we still have to concentrate for the last couple of minutes here. We're knocking it around the back, and it'll find Shaw again. Inside to Barco. Barco loses out, and now Brentford will threaten again. Great challenge from Nedelcu. Vavro with a long ball forward to Barco. Now can we get them on the counter-attack? Ezequiel Barco will find Trincao again. A bit of room on the right side, but he'll find Nedelcu, who's searching for a debut goal. And another top save from Bentley, who may well be on for the Man of the Match award. Barco with the ball in again. Paulinho couldn't quite get hold of it. He's got it now. Paulinho back into Morgan Gibbs-White. We'll find Vavro, who puts it wide, but he was just offside anyway. Into stoppage time now. Rafinha with the long ball for Brentford. Courtney House, as long as he doesn't make a mistake, will be alright. Punted forward now, and it wasn't the best clearance, but Morgan Gibbs-White can win it back, and there's a bit of room here if Trincao can find it. Nedelcu will knock it back out wide to Palencia. Palencia now running into the wing, and it's a good ball for Paulinho, who won the header, and another fantastic save from Bentley. He's on a 7.3 now. Switched again over to Shaw. Couldn't quite knock it down, and now it's a 3-on-3 counter-attack from Brentford, and Morpé is in for Brentford, and what a tackle that is from Courtney House to keep us in the game there. Stanislas with the ball in. Cleared away again, and Trincao can pick it up. And a long ball now for Paulinho to chase. It's end-to-end stuff here at the Molineux. Paulinho now on the ball. Past his man. He's going to lay it off. Still going alone. Barco back in. Goes down. Another good tackle. Brentford holding on. But they do need a goal themselves. Gibbs-White back in. It was a bit high. Trincao knocks it back across, and Bentley comes and claims it. I think we may well have done enough. Just over 20 seconds to go. Morgan Gibbs-White now to Nedelcu on the edge. We'll find Trincao. A bit of room for Palencia, which he ignores. Morgan Gibbs-White again. We'll find Luke Shaw this time. Luke Shaw with a ball in right across the face of goal. And that should be that. It's been a very, very good game for the neutral. But it's a solid performance from us as well. As I say, in another day, we could have scored 3 or 4. But at the end of the day, we've won 1-0. 19 shots, 10 on target today. 50-52 possession. But we created David Bentley a lot of problems. But he had a solid game. 7.3 for him. Our man of the match was 7.9. Luke Shaw seemed to do very, very well on the left-hand side on his debut. And obviously it was a good goal as well from Francisco Trincao, should I say, who's come back into first-team action again. So there we go, confirmation of our win against Brentford. Matt Ritchie has just twisted his knee, so he shouldn't be out for too long. But a very, very solid 3 points for us to start off the season. Next game we play up against Spurs, which obviously will be a very, very difficult game as we've tended to struggle against them recently. But we'll come back for the games against West Ham United and Manchester City to double live com. And in the meantime, we'll play up against Spurs, as I say, a Carabao Cup second round game. We may well do a third round if we get through that clash against Forest. We'll also play it against Leicester, and then most probably West Ham and Man City, unless there's like a third round tie in between there. But until next time, guys, make sure you smash the like button down below if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And until next time, I'll see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.